Today I'm going to be powering this shed with solar, and I'm going to do it using this Thunderbolt Solar 100 watt panel from Harbor Freight. Usually when people set up solar on sheds like this, they have four components. They have the panel, they have a battery, an inverter, and a charge controller. I'm going to do things a little bit differently with mine. Rather than having to buy all four of those components, I'm really only going to need two, and they're both from Harbor Freight. In addition to the 100 watt panel, I'm also going to be using this 350 watt Predator power station. This power station comes in at $279. What's cool about this power station is that it's going to serve the same functions as a battery, an inverter, and a controller. It is, after all, essentially just a big battery, but it also has your AC voltage ports here that you can plug anything into, and it's got a built-in controller so it doesn't overcharge. Now, out of curiosity's sake, I do also want to try running an actual external controller. So I've got this cheap Synergy Wanderer that I picked up on Amazon for $17.99. And so I'm going to try to get this to work with the power station, just as a sort of safety net, because that power station is pretty expensive after all. I really don't want it to overcharge and get ruined. So I'm going to see if we can get this to work. But I think probably having an internal controller plus an external controller, they're not going to mesh together and something's not going to work, but we'll see. But again, this is not really a necessity. So if you exclude this, we've got a $120 solar panel and a $280 power station. Brings our build to a total of $400. If you've shopped around for solar equipment at all, you'll know that's a pretty good price. It's really not bad at all to outfit this entire shed. I've been using this power station for quite a while now to charge my tool batteries, run some speakers, run a fan, and I've even installed a light in here, just like that. But the issue is that every time this power station runs out of juice, I have to take it into my house and charge it. But the idea behind the solar setup is to have it automatically replenish with the sun, so I never even have to move it. So without further ado, let's open up this panel and assemble everything and get this whole shed wired up. Alright, here it is. The build quality seems alright. I mean, it's a little flimsy, a little cheap looking. The reason I wanted to get this one over some of the other Harbor Freight panels is because it's supposed to be highly durable for long-term outdoor use and virtually maintenance-free. A lot of the other panels at Harbor Freight were advertised more of a temporary use, like if you're going camping and you just need to charge something for a day or two. But that's not what I wanted for this. I wanted something to stay up on the roof of my shed for years and I never have to touch it. I don't know if that's how this is going to go. I kind of feel like first hailstorm this thing's going to get dinged up pretty bad. The instruction manual says do not install when tired or under the influence of drugs. So I'm not quite sure what to do about that. One thing that's a little disappointing is that the panel does not come with any mounting hardware. Like I said, I was planning on mounting it to the roof of my shed, but it doesn't come with anything to do that. All it has is these stands, which is really just meant for more temporary use, like if you're just sitting it outside in your yard. And so I guess I'll just have to sit it out there for now and then mount it on the roof later. I'm also a little disappointed with the amount of connections. I thought maybe it would come with a couple of alternate cables to choose from, or connector types, but you just get this one cable. It does have an adapter on it though. So out of the box it comes like this with this J plug on the end. You can actually unhook this. This is just an adapter for an Anderson connection, which is great because the Predator power station comes with an Anderson input right here on the back. So it's cool that you can just plug and play right into the power station. But if we take a look at the charge controller, you'll see there's no sort of Anderson input. So we're going to have to tinker with this cable a little bit to get it to work with the charge controller. But first, let's just try plugging it straight into the power station just to check and make sure it even works. Alright, here's my temporary setup. Let me plug in the panel to the power station and see what we're cooking with. Gonna plug her in right like this. Alright, now the screen is kind of hard to see, but it's working. You see there, we're 82% charged. We've got 47 watts coming in. It's going to take an hour and 7 minutes to charge completely. And this is a 100 watt panel, so ideally we want to be getting more than this. The sun is coming from that way right now, so let me angle it this way, and I'm also going to put out the feet like so and drop it down Perfect. All right, now you can see we're getting 66, 65, 64 watts in, 55 minutes to full. That's much better. Whenever I plug this power station into the wall in my house, I believe I get about 78 watts in. So as long as I can get something close to that, I'll be happy. All right, look at that. We're up to 69, 70 watts now. Let's go. Okay, so now comes the question, how do I integrate the charge controller? So what I'm going to need to do is remove the Anderson connection. If you see, I slide this down. I've got the red wire and the black wire going straight in there. I'm just going to remove these. There's probably a better way to get the wires out of the connector, but I'm just going to cut them because I am a Neanderthal and that's all I know how to do. I was trying to use one thing in this video that isn't from Harbor Freight, but these wire strippers are super dull, so here's my Harbor Freight wire cutters. Boom, there we go. Now we've got to get a cable that goes from the controller to the power station. And luckily, the Predator power station actually came with a couple of different cables. And here's one of them. It came with one cable that had like a car cigarette lighter on one end and Anderson on the other, but I thought I'd save that one just in case I'd ever need to charge this with my car. But this other cable on the other hand, it's got an Anderson on this end and these on the other end. This is the cable that I'm going to cut up and use. Alright, I got these stripped. Now don't ask me why, because I am not an expert on this kind of thing, but for some reason you absolutely have to connect the battery to the controller before the panel. I've read this online and I was like, that doesn't really seem that important, but I was just looking through the instruction manual for this controller, and within the first 3 pages it says that probably 4 or 5 times. You have to connect the battery before the panel. So that's what I'm going to do. It also says to put in the positive first and then the negative for both the battery and the panel. I don't know if that really matters, but again, might as well do it how the instruction manual says to do it. So that way if it doesn't work, I'll know that it's not because I did something wrong. Okay, the battery is connected. There's nothing on the screen on the controller yet. Let me connect the panel. Alright, got the panel over here now. Let's go ahead and hook it up to the controller. Okay, let's see if this somehow works. I'm afraid the external controller is not going to communicate with the internal controller. It's just not going to work. It's been initializing like this for probably 20 or 30 minutes now. And if you look at the screen on the power station, it seems to recognize that there is a solar panel connected, but it's just getting 0 watts. And it just kind of blinks on and off. Something's not working right. So it looks like we're just going to have to go straight from the panel to the power station. So it's not ideal, but I think it'll still be perfectly safe, considering we do still have the internal controller. Okay, I got the controller unhooked. Now, since I snipped both of these wires, I could just splice these together. That'll give me an even longer cord to play with. I don't have any heat shrink on hand right now, so I'm just going to use some electrical tape. There we go. Alright, I set the panel up facing south, and now we are getting 21 watts. Okay, now I've just got to position it how I want it. Okay, since I don't have any mounting hardware, I'm not going to put it on the roof for now. Instead, I think I'm going to put it on this cover here that covers my firewood. I think that's perfect. Now I just need to drill a hole through for my wire to go through, and then I'm going to do some waterproofing around it. There we go. I had to undo my electrical tape splicing to get this through, but now that it's through I can redo that. So here's what it looks like on the outside. And on the inside I've got the wire coming through. I re-spliced it with the Anderson connector. Look at that. 77 watts, 78 watts. Yes. Let's go. Perfect. And turn on the AC ports. Look at that. Now, as long as I'm out here running things, like for example, you see I've got 105 watts going out. That's because I'm charging all these batteries right now. A lot of them were dead. And so obviously, as long as there's more watts going out than in, it's going to drain the battery. But I'm not out here that often. So once these batteries are all charged, as long as I'm not out here using the light or the speakers or something like that, then this battery is going to be charging. So that the next time I come out here, it'll be at 100%. So we're about neck and neck in watts here. But you see, if I do something like turn on my light, that light uses a ton of power. So it switches from time to full to time to empty. If I wasn't charging with this thing, that would probably say like an hour. Since I've got some watts coming in, it increased the time to 2.5 hours. I never spend 2.5 hours out here, so that's plenty of time. I also have this little box fan that I run to help keep it cool in here. You see that bumped us up to 72 watts. And again, these batteries are still charging, so really not bad at all. You see we currently have 35 hours to empty. I can work with that for sure. So now the only thing left to do is to waterproof this hole. I don't want any moisture or bugs coming through that hole. So what I'm going to use is this Loctite clear silicone. It's waterproof and it dries in about 45 minutes. Alright, there you have it. There's my $400 Harbor Freight solar panel setup. I should have all the power I need in this shed for the foreseeable future. And to do it with really just 2 components and $400, it's hard to beat that. Let me know what you think about this setup. Is there anything I could do to improve it, change it? How would you do it differently? Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll try out some of your ideas. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.